I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all the time, anytime comic book show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're catching up on Deathstroke, issues number 17 and 18. It's a red wedding for the Wilson family, which means everyone who wants to kill our favorite supervillain assassin are all going to be under one roof. What'll happen next? Well, let's all hop on in together and find out for ourselves, shall we? So, kicking off issue number 17, we see where Deathstroke is currently shacked up with Tanya Spears, aka Power Girl 2. She gets a visit by her former Teen Titans teammate, Beast Boy, who says that Damian Wayne has reformed the team. As you might have guessed, Tanya is a little hurt at the idea that no one asked her to join, but hey, she was a late addition, so she tries to play it off as anything but a personal slight. Things get a little crazy when Gar recognizes Deathstroke in the other room, and this is where things get really funny. So remember, basically all arc long, I've been saying how ridiculous it is for Tanya, a Teen Titan, even a former short-lived Teen Titan, to not know who Slade, Wilson, Deathstroke, the Terminator is. Well, she gets super embarrassed when Beast Boy calls her out about this and tries to play it off like, oh no, I always knew who he was. Yeah, I've been playing him this whole time. I was waiting for him to slip up and then I was gonna turn him into the authorities, even though in reality she was lied to, and now she feels even worse than she did previously for making such a huge mistake. But here's where things start to get interesting. Because Tanya has actually seen the good inside Deathstroke so far, she figures if she just pleads with him to turn himself into the police for all the crimes he's committed, he'll do so. In fact, she even goes a step further by saying that after that she plans to turn herself in as an accessory for all those people that Deathstroke killed in the previous issue. As you might have guessed, Slade's having absolutely none of this. He tells Power Girl to wake up. There are no good guys and bad guys in this world, just people who take care of business and people who don't. And then he murders the seeing eye dog that she gave him. Yeah, wow, I thought Deathstroke was sleeping on being a total irredeemable bastard the last couple issues, but oh man, he kills a doggo just to remind you how bad he can be. As you might have guessed, this leads to a huge fight chase all over Power Girl's secret compound, all the while the AI in the Icon suit pretty much gives Slade a talking to, saying that the only reason he killed that dog was so that Power Girl would hate him, and having people hate him is his own personal defense mechanism to keep the people he cares about at arm's length. Wow, this suit can do everything. It can redirect concussive blasts, it can sort of heal you, and it can give you psychological advice. Is it also lemon-scented, I wonder? In the end, Deathstroke just narrowly manages to escape an enraged Power Girl, but he makes sure not to kill her because, again, he's just a big old softy at heart, but he can't let that be seen. Now, from there, we head on over to Jericho, Slade's son, and his fiancé. It turns out Dr. Icon, Slade's old war buddy, the guy who built the Icon suit in the first place, well, he's woken up from, well, being dead. And now the cat is 100% out of the bag that Jericho was actually having a relationship with Dr. Icon. This understandably offends his fiancé, who fires back at him by saying, you know what, I'm glad I've been having an affair with your father. Ooh, this has just gone full-on soap opera right now, hasn't it? And then as the comic winds down, she ends up dead in her wedding dress. Uh-oh. Now, as issue 17 opens up, we can see an enraged Jericho in the completed Icon suit battling his father outside the church, blaming Deathstroke for the death of his fiancée. Now, whether he means this literally or figuratively is yet to be seen. Another thing this issue tries to do is, kind of tie up loose ends and answer questions a lot of fans have had about loyalty and allegiances. Now, I don't know what that says about the story, that Christopher Priest literally has to sit readers down and say, okay, this is how it happened like this, but the big bomb we find out is that Jericho's fiancé was working for none other than Amanda Waller and the Suicide Squad, attempting to keep an eye on Deathstroke so that he wouldn't become a danger to the American government in any way. This makes Waller just one of a handful of suspects now in Jericho's fiancé's death. We know it couldn't have been Rose, she just came back to the country right now, and with a pep talk from the Red Lion, decides to take up the Ravager suit once more, but because she wants to, not because it was something her father wanted her to do. Then of course there's Jericho's own mother, who has been running her own backroom spy dealings that involved Rose as well as Deathstroke. Then of course, who could forget Jericho himself? He had a lot of reasons to be mad about everything his fiancée did to him, so essentially everyone had a reason to kill this girl in the book, but father and son are fighting right now. The fight's really brutal too. Jericho absolutely lays into his father, who is still dealing with the residual blindness from a couple storylines back. What's interesting is that while he's getting beaten up, Slade flashes back to the very first issue and the flashbacks of him and his kids out in the woods together. He also flashes back to the death of his other son and how everyone blamed him for that, and essentially at that point he just stops fighting and lets Jericho wail on him. The message of this being that no matter what, he doesn't want to be responsible for the death of another one of his kids. And it's right about there the story begins to wind down. Deathstroke number 17 and number 18 really are a nice ratcheting up of this epic that Christopher Priest has been writing. It's a tight, mature spy drama with a splish-splash of superheroing in there to keep it nice and colorful. More than anything though, what I think I appreciate about this more than just about anything is what a mature level of storytelling is being put in here right now. And I just don't mean because there's a lot of death, but I mean like actual themes of love, loss, betrayal, identity, heartbreak, all that good stuff. It's also a true blue villain book that doesn't try to gloss over or soften up Slade Wilson. It just, presents him as he is, and you can either love him or hate him or love to hate him. Overall, I would give this one an 8 out of 10, and I can't wait to see where this book is going to go once we hit the Lazarus Contract crossover event that's happening very soon. So there's Deathstroke all caught up. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and while I have your attention, why not check out some of these other great videos I have available on the channel this week. Want to keep up to date on when the newest Cape Joel video is coming out? Well, there's no better way to do that than to follow me on Twitter at Cape Joel. And before you go, if you want to get some comic book goodness all your own, might I recommend buying a trade from bookdepository.uk. It's no doubt my favorite place for buying comic book trades. They have great prices, and if you buy using my link down in the description of this very video, not only will you get yourself a great comic, but a small percentage of that sale will go to support me in the channel. You win, I win, everybody wins, I tell you. So until next time, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye-bye.